baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw.
What's up, guys? Football season's almost over, so we decided we want to start doing a new weekly segment called What We Saw This Week in the World of Sports. Galoob, what did you see this week in the world of sports?
First thing I want to talk about in the world of sports. I made a post about it.
Okay.
Patrick Reed picking up his ball
Ooh.
after it bounced, and he picked up the ball and claimed it was an unhittable lie for him.
Okay.
Which is allowed technically by the rules.
Okay.
But the rules official is supposed to get there and say, yeah, you're good. He just said, no, I can't play it. Picked it up. Rules official got there and was like, what the fuck's going on?
So the ball bounced.
But he didn't know that. He did not know that it bounced.
So Rory did the same thing. No heat from anyone. One of the articles that I wrote this week also intertwines with that. LeBron got multiple fans kicked out of the Hawks arena last night because they got into an altercation. They called him a PB crybaby, and he got them escorted out of the arena. So that brings me to the thing. Is there anybody in the world of sports that is more hated than Patrick Reed or LeBron James?
I think LeBron James is more universally loved than hated. I mean, he's got a lot of haters, just like any top tier athlete's going to have. I think there's very few people that like Patrick Reed.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that like LeBron.
I know there was a unanimous vote on the PGA Tour, and everybody said, who do you dislike playing with the most? It was like 90% Patrick Reed. He just has a reputation for being an asshole. People don't like him. Something about he doesn't talk to his family because him and his wife dislike his family. Super weird. I don't know what's going on. He's a great golfer.
Well, whose business is that? I think he's just kind of... Granted, he's probably an asshole.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
I don't care about that. I think he's a little not outward with anything. He's just like, fuck you guys, I'm going to do what I do. You can be mad at me. You can hate me. I don't care. I'm here to play golf.
What I don't understand is how can you be that hated as a person, but his nickname is Captain America? What is that, like ironic or
like tiny for a giant biker guy?
I don't. And then, like, do you care if your peers don't ever want to play with you? They're pissed off when they get paired with you as a playing partner?
I think that's like starting to be why I wouldn't say like him, but respect him. Especially when he won and just said, yeah, fuck you. I'm just going to go ahead and win.
I mean, he's got 9 wins. That's, he's 11 away from getting automatic exemptions for the rest of his life, which I'm sure he will get to 20 soon. It's just, I just wouldn't want to be the guy that is unanimously the most disliked person in your sport. I wouldn't want to be that guy.
I understand. But I also, like I said in my post, he might be my new favorite villain.
I can't get behind him.
I can get behind the bad guy.
The guys on the PGA Tour are so much better than everyone else on Earth. They don't need any advantages, and he's got the reputation for being Captain Fluffer, and he's also got a reputation for moving his ball slightly closer to the hole when he marks it. And like multiple tour players have come out and said this, so it's like, does he do it on purpose? Does he not?
I don't know. And honestly, I don't care.
I mean,
I'm all about bending the rules. You can bend the rules.
Okay. So
I just like his flippant attitude. Like, you can either like it or not. I'm just going to do what I do, and I don't care who hates me. So I respect that.
So if I gave you LeBron, Patrick Reed, or other most hated guy in sports,
a different most hated guy. Does baseball really have any villains? I feel like people don't hate baseball players anymore.
Astros.
Oh, yeah. I guess you could go whole team because of the cheaters. Altuve?
Altuve is the spokesperson for the team, and that whole don't take my jersey off thing, don't rip my jersey thing.
But I feel like that's already faded because,
I
don't know. That was weak, though. I didn't like that kind of cheating. That's like cheating. That's not bending the rules.
I just think ever since the decision, a very high percentage of people have hated LeBron. The decision.
Well, that was a joke. I think we can both agree on that.
He was kind of the pioneer of the super team, other than the Celtics.
Is anyone like that?
He cries a lot. He flops. He whines. He gave himself the nickname King James, the chosen one. That's kind of an asshole move.
Don't like that. But the crying or whining towards Jordan used to do that shit too. He would, every time he thought he got fouled, he'd be barking at the ref.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care about that stuff. The decision was a joke, but that was so long ago. Do people still bring it up? I know.
And no one ever says that raised like $3 million for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
No, it's just
LeBron sucks. I hate this guy.
For one, he doesn't suck. Does he annoy me sometimes? Yes.
Oh,
I'm not a huge LeBron guy.
Top five player in history, LeBron.
Yeah.
He'll never get to Jordan level in my mind, but on paper the stats are going to be 1A, 1B by the time he's done. But I just thought that was LeBron James, Patrick Reed. Who do you guys think is more hated in the world of sports?
I don't know. That's a good question. But I think universally, Patrick Reed is hated more in his sport than LeBron James is hated in his sport.
I agree. Because inside the sport of basketball, now everybody's buddy-buddy, dap up, exchange jerseys. No one hates it. There's no more rivalries anymore in basketball.
Nobody's throwing bows in the paint. Nobody trying to break somebody's nose. There's no Charles Oakley pissing everyone off.
Right. So one of the things that caught my eye this week, do you like soccer?
No.
You hate soccer. I hate soccer. Do you think soccer's a real sport?
I mean, it is a real sport.
Do you think it's for grown men?
No.
Okay. So
there will be a lot of disagreement on this, though. Soccer has a lot of fans.
One of the biggest things in the world of sports this week that caught the Lobster's eye, Lionel Messi's Barcelona contract was leaked. This is the biggest number I've ever seen, right?
It was leaked? Like they're not supposed to put
There's only 4 copies of this contract known to exist on Earth. Messi's got one, Barcelona's got one, and then like the lawyers have the other 2 or something like that. Well, it got leaked to the newspaper, and the numbers that came out blew my freaking mind. So, Patrick Mahomes, highest paid player in sports, 10 years, $450 million. Lionel Messi, metaphorically, walked into a bar, pulled his slong out, looked Patrick Mahomes in the face, and said, "Bro, I make more in 4 years than you do in 10 years. Lionel Messi, 4 years, $674 million, $170 million per year.
$674 million in 4 years?
How do you feel about Lionel Messi, soccer superstar, being the highest paid player in all of sports?
That is wild. Although, I mean, outside of America, soccer is typically number one. Except for like those countries that like cricket a lot, or I don't know. In China, they love basketball. Whatever. I'm just saying, outside of America, soccer's typically way up here. So it is more worldwide than any of the sports we have here, besides probably basketball.
I just knew that when Patty's contract numbers came out, everyone's head kind of exploded. 10 years, $500 million. Lionel Messi just said, "Go sit at the kids' table, Patty. This is what a grown man makes."
I'd like to know the financials on NFL compared to, obviously it's not MLS. What is it? What do they call it? Club soccer?
Something.
Whatever league.
We don't even know.
The Champions League?
We don't know. This is not the Robster and Galoob soccer show.
Where do they play soccer? This is Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know the name. I don't know.
I don't know where Barcelona's at on a map. I can't point it out. I'm glad you know.
It's the one.
You know. Italy. I don't. That's why I don't make $170 million per year.
You know, Italy's the one that looks like a boot.
Okay. So if Lionel Messi makes $170 million per year, who do you think deserves to be Galoob's? If you were writing the checks, who do you think should be the highest paid player in all of sports?
I mean, wouldn't that depend on the sport?
No.
How would it not? Who deserves to be, regardless of how many fans there are? You're just talking talent-based?
Yes. There's only like 5 names that come to mind.
I don't even think it would be a football player.
No.
And I honestly think it would be LeBron or maybe Mike Trout.
Okay. So I think it would be LeBron, Mike Trout, Brady, Mahomes.
I think both QBs are behind those 2 guys, though, in the who should make more.
Yeah.
Mike Trout's WAR is like, I'm pretty sure it's higher than anyone ever.
He's on a historical pace.
Yeah.
LeBron comes to the Lakers all of a sudden, back-to-back finals. I mean, Brady goes to the Bucks.
Except for the Angels don't have any championships.
Yeah.
So, but individual-wise, Trout is eons above literally everyone.
So you think Trout should be the highest paid player in all of sports?
I would say LeBron.
LeBron. Yeah. I agree, because he single-handedly changes the league no matter what team he goes to.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's hop off guys that make a lot more money than us for a second. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the little guys that were getting fucked last week, because I saw Portnoy on Fox News.
Here we go.
Sorry, Fox Business.
Okay.
Talking about the GameStop debacle.
Ooh.
Robinhood.
Ooh.
He was going off. Did you see that?
I saw he lost personally $700,000.
Wow. That is insane. That Dave Portnoy, the president CEO of Barstool Sports, is on a business channel talking about how Robinhood is screwing the little guys. It took over social media.
Personally, I couldn't buy additional Dogecoins. I couldn't, you couldn't buy AMC. You couldn't buy BlackBerry. You couldn't buy. You were only limited to 20 shares of GameStop. I mean, it took over the world, all because of a Reddit sub-thread cost Wall Street billions of dollars from short selling.
That is insane that happened. But I also saw him on Fox Business, and I was like, everyone is involved in this thing. It's on fire. It's taken over social media it's been a couple days. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Mixing sports with business. It's always like the big boys are going to eat. The little guys like us, we're going to make what we make. But they're always going to have a string that they can pull to open and close the door anytime they want to. It's what it's always been. It's what it's always going to be.
Here's the pecking order. You're down here.
Yeah. So we were on a golf trip this weekend. We went and played the beautiful Barefoot Resort Pete Dye course down in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. As soon as we got home, we checked the news. Breaking news. The Goff Stafford trade went down. Mm-hmm. Thoughts from that trade? Who won it? Who lost it? Is there a winner-loser? Both winners? Both losers?
How long does Goff have on his contract still?
He's got 4 years. 3 or 4 years.
Here's the thing. The Lions are going to be rebuilding throughout this Goff being their process. Right. So they can eat that contract. It doesn't matter. Now, do they win or lose? I don't know. I think the Rams are better off right now.
Right.
I think the Lions long term, it was more of getting what they could out of Stafford and giving Stafford a shot somewhere, because he's been there a while. He's been their guy. So he's wanting them to go somewhere. And Stafford actually said, I will go anywhere except New England.
He did not want to talk to old mad scientist pencil behind the ear any longer.
I don't think him and Billy B would get along either. Stafford's kind of a slinger.
So, from the Rams' perspective, is it the wildest thing you've ever heard that the Rams are going to go 8 years without a first-round draft pick? Is that just...
Do they need it? I mean, it's crazy, but they're kind of okay for the next few years.
Okay. So, I mean, the odds came out. As soon as the trade went down, boom, the odds came out. Next year, Rams are the third favorite to win the Super Bowl. Do you think the Rams are the third favorite to win the Super Bowl next year, just based off of getting Matt Stafford?
We know how bad Goff is. We know.
Okay.
We know how historically good the Rams defense is.
Okay. Do you not put any stock into the fact that since Jared Goff came in the league, he's got the second most wins behind Tom Brady? Does that mean anything to you?
I mean, it means something. You know what it means? It means McVay's a really, really good offensive coach.
Okay.
That's what it means to me. Because watching Jared Goff play football, it's like watching somebody ugly cry.
So, back to the odds for next year. Do you think the Rams are the third favorite in the league to win the Super Bowl next year? Is that accurate? Or is that Vegas trying to get people to throw money on something stupid?
I don't think third. I think they're top 10, absolutely. I mean, you saw they were in the playoffs this year. They were
10's easy. It's easy to say 10, and you can be 10.
14 teams make the playoffs now.
What about 5? If you had to put 5 teams to win the Super Bowl next year, would the Rams be in your 5?
If they're in the 5, they're probably 5.
Okay. 3 3 seems steep to me, just because you got Matthew Stafford.
Well, rattle them off. So you got obviously
Bucks are going to be right back. Tom's coming back. Kansas City, Seattle,
Green Bay,
Buffalo.
Okay. So, like I said, if they're in the top 5, I think they're probably 5.
Okay. So then from the Lions' perspective, I didn't like the new head coach at first. He seemed like a weirdo with the biting their kneecaps off thing.
You know what? I enjoyed it.
But now I'm really starting to come around because from everyone's perspective, everyone in the league saying this guy is a football guy, which from NFL circles, football guy is the highest compliment you can get in the NFL. It means you eat, sleep, breathe football all day, every day.
Wasn't Mike Ditka a football guy?
Hey, look at him. One of the best tight ends ever, one of the best coaches ever. Brought a chip to Chicago, which no one in the history of ever has done.
When you think football guy, coach, like that's who pops into my mind.
So two things about the trade. Apparently the Lions now have a former Rams front office guy who was super high on Goff coming out, and now they got him back, which is what he wanted. And then the other thing for Detroit, they have 12 picks in the first 3 rounds in the next 3 years. So if you can get 12 guys, if you can just hit on maybe half of those, that's like 6 really, really good guys out of the next 3 years.
I will say, as much as I hate watching Goff play football, maybe it was watching Goff play football in McVay's system. Because he has a cannon for an arm.
Yep.
So maybe he just needs a change of pace. Maybe he needs a different kind of system. I don't know.
Lions have a first-round tight end. They got a couple good backs. They got Kenny Galladay.
Galladay's gone. Leaving. Galladay's supposed to be leaving.
Free agent?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm all for reset buttons. I thought the Stafford era in Detroit had run its course. He never won a playoff game. I was all for it. Fresh start for everyone.
But if this guy is sold on Goff can be my franchise quarterback, you're already locked in place. Now you can focus on everything.
Yeah.
If that's your mindset.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it.
That's the GM's mindset. Yeah. We'll see what football guy thinks after watching Goff play for a season. But also, what no one's talking about is the Lions are going to have so many first-round picks. They can package those together and move up in the draft to get who they really want. You know?
I don't think that happens this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah. I love stockpiling draft picks.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It seems to be like a recipe that all sports are using now. Speaking
of QBs moving, all I've heard about is QBs moving. Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, implications might be happening. Deshaun Watson has requested a trade. I still think if Houston trades Deshaun Watson, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But he's asked for a trade.
So I sent the text to you. If Stafford's worth, 2 1s, 2 2s, and a 3, what is Deshaun worth?
Well, they sent out today their demands.
Yeah.
2 first, 2 second, 2 defensive players under 25 years old.
That specific?
That's exactly. I don't know what the source was. I don't remember,
right.
But I did read it, and I was like, that's steep, but I mean, if they were going to let him go for that,
right.
I'd probably take it.
I'd give you that right now.
Yeah.
I would hand deliver it in a Sebring. If Stafford is worth 2 1s, to me that means Deshaun is worth minimum 3. 3 minimum. 3 is my starting point with 1s.
Well, that's what, I mean, I'm pretty sure what I read was 2 first, 2 seconds, and 2 defensive pieces under 25. On rookie deals, I don't know what the mindset was there.
So you're saying if you were the new Houston coach and you're trying to call, text, email Deshaun, he's not talking to you. He's not going to talk to you until the regular season starts. You would just say, I don't care. You're still my quarterback?
Correct. You're playing. You got 4 years in contract. You're the second best player in the league. Let's figure this out. Or you can be a big baby and come in unprepared and get your ass kicked all year. I don't care.
So they're already saying they're probably gonna release J.J. Watt, let him go ring chase.
Keep hearing J.J. Watt coming to Pittsburgh. I would be super stoked.
Which is awesome. That would be awesome to see 3 Watts on one team.
Yeah.
But if you're letting your franchise defensive player go, you're basically hitting the reset button. New GM, new coach, blah blah blah.
Why is it so hard to sit down with a guy who's 25 years old, a franchise quarterback under contract for 4 years, and say, listen, we're giving you a team. I know this franchise fucked up for the last couple of years.
Right.
Let's get it right. Let's do this.
'Cause I mean, I'm all for reset buttons. I thought the I don't think it's the coach or the GM. I think it's 100% Deshaun hates the owner of the Texans. And the owner's not changing. We know that.
You shouldn't have signed a contract. You shouldn't have signed a 5-year deal. Sorry.
Okay. I mean,
That's where I am.
I don't have a dog in the fight.
Me neither. I don't like it when players sign a contract, then start bitching and demanding trades. I don't like that. That's not a good look for the leader of the locker room. I don't know.
So moving on to head coaches.
No, still QBs. You heard Jimmy G and Kirk Cousins possibly switching places.
God.
And today, Tua, I'm not going to say his last name because I'll fuck it up. Tua said he doesn't know if he'll be in Miami next year. Whoa!
The fact that the Dolphins tanked for 2 years to get Tua, and now they watch him play for like half a season, and they're already like, yeah, he's not the guy. It's just like, yeah, what? Why? You waited 2 years to get this guy. You didn't see enough in college to know whether or not he was the guy or not?
Well, they were non-committal all season, too. Doing the flip-flop thing, not letting them play to week 8. Fitzpatrick comes in a couple games. You wanted this. You need to try to make it work. I think. I don't know.
Now, this is just my perspective. I gave every rookie in the league a hall pass this year. If you're not going to give me a training camp, a mini camp, preseason, you get a pass. Because mostly the entire Oakland Raider, the Las Vegas, my team draft class this year was ass. So I gave everyone a free pass. So
now I was thinking, especially on the free pass with the no OTAs and all that, I looked up what's up with Jacob Eason because I really like this kid coming out of Washington Huskies.
Right.
And he got drafted by Indy, and I figured he would be the exit plan for Phillip.
Right.
And everything I read said he's just not ready yet. And
now, I did see today it came out that he's about to start working with the famous quarterback coach. I think his name is like George House or some shit.
QB guru.
Like he's worked with every great quarterback for like the last 20 years or something. So we'll see how that develops.
I just want to see this guy with the ball. He didn't get the ball at all.
Right.
I'd like to see what he's got. I know he's got a gun for an arm.
That team is ready to win now.
And if they don't think he's ready to rock, then they do have to hold on for a minute and maybe give him his chance after this window is more closing.
But what veteran are you bringing in right now? Like, there's literally no one left unless you're going for Deshaun. I mean,
you could get a Kirk Cousins.
Do you want a Kirk Cousins?
Kirk was number 1 off play action last year.
Kirk was number 1 off play action last year. You heard it here first. Switching gears to head coaches. All the head coaching vacancies in the league are filled currently. Chiefs OC doesn't get a job.
Eric Bienemy.
Why do you think that is?
I heard multiple things. One thing, it's Andy Reid. 2 thing, he's black. That's all I heard. There's only 2 things. Is there another explanation you heard?
I think Andy Reid calls the plays. I also looked up his personal history, and I saw that he has 5 or more arrests personally on his record.
Those were 20 years ago?
I don't think it matters in the NFL.
I understand.
I think you get
I did see that.
X amount of screw-ups in the NFL, and then you're out.
But he's already elevated himself to OC, so why is that what's bringing him down now?
There's a huge difference between being the CEO of a team and being the assistant to the CEO of a team.
What do you think Rooney Rule-wise? I mean, multiple teams interviewed this guy, right?
Yeah.
So they did what they were supposed to.
Including the Texans.
Is interview an African-American guy.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you've got a lot of people saying, well, they just didn't hire him because he's African-American.
Texans hired a minority candidate. Jets hired a minority candidate.
Big fan of that hire. The 49ers, yes.
Yep.
Robert
Saleh.
I like him.
Football guy.
Football guy.
I know it's going to be a hot topic for the rest of the offseason. Why has the Chiefs OC not gotten a job like 2 or 3 years in a row when the Chiefs consistently have best offense in the league? Is it Andy Reid? Is it Pat Mahomes?
Heard it multiple times. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm not in the interview room.
Pat says, I've personally vouched for this guy. He always makes sure I'm at the right place at the right time in every game. I don't know, is there any more bigger endorsement you can get from the best player in the league saying you're ready?
Where's Andy Reid's endorsement on this?
I haven't heard it.
Me neither. I don't know. I don't want to act like I know. I'm just going off of what I saw on Twitter.
All right.
Let's switch sports for a second.
Here we go. I love
Dustin
switching sports.
Pedroia retired.
Okay.
If you didn't know, this guy won an MVP in 2008. This guy's 5'9", 170, plays second base. He's hit .299 for his career. He's been known as like a blue-collar grinder kind of guy.
Yeah.
Small, scrappy. Machado takes him out on a hard slide into second base a few years back. Busts up his knee.
Right.
Hasn't been able to walk right since. Had to wait on surgery because of corona.
Right.
Read an article today that said he had trouble. I mean, he hit it because that's what you do. You go to work.
Right.
Baseball's definitely a blue-collar sport. You got 162 games. You're going to work.
Right.
He just said, I just dealt with it. I struggled to walk up the stairs. I would get out of bed. Couldn't bend my knee in the morning. Had to ice my knee multiple times a day. And he just can't do it anymore. And now at this point, after the surgery, he fears that if he continues to run on it, it could cause like life-altering implications. So sad to see him go. I don't know if you know much about.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Man's man. I think other than Poppy for the last decade, he's been like Mr. Boston, Mr. Red Sox. He
was like the definition of the blue-collar Boston baseball era.
I mean, in football, they call them high motor guys. White. But yeah, I think Pedroia is a baller, man. In his prime, Rookie of the Year, MVP.
He's hit 300 for his whole career. That's impressive in itself.
Had some huge moments in the postseason.
Yeah. Was on the cover of MLB The Show.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that.
It won't get a lot of pub because, he's
a baseball player.
Yeah, it's what it is. But
Pedroia, thanks for the memories, bro. I know I've watched him a million times.
I love it. I also love it when players play their entire career in one place.
Big fan of that,
You don't
too.
see it a lot.
It's easier to take care of guys in baseball, though.
Yeah. So, also in the past week, switching back to our primary sport, Philip retired. And I started a huge debacle when I said Philip Rivers is not a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Now tell me why. And then I'm going to give you a one-question rebuttal that I want you to answer honestly.
The numbers say he is. The longevity says he is. He hasn't missed many games. He's gritty. He's tough. Okay. What do you want?
Played the AFC Championship on a torn ACL.
Touchdowns, yards, all the things.
All the things.
He's the Dan Marino of this era.
He's the Dan Marino of this era.
One question.
Tell me one play or game from Philip Rivers' career that stands out to you.
I'm not a Chargers fan.
You got nothing. You have absolutely nothing. Here's how I define a Hall of Famer in the NFL. Can you tell the story of the history of the NFL with or without this guy? I think you can tell the story of the NFL and you'll never have to mention Philip Rivers.
I know there's people that can.
That's why he's not a Hall of Famer in my eyes.
You don't have to have a story to be a Hall of Famer. There's guys in the Hall of Fame. I don't even know who the hell they are.
Now, don't get me wrong. Philip Rivers absolutely will be in the Hall of Famer. I just don't think he belongs there.
Let me know. You know what I want? You know what I want dropped in this comment box? I want a Philip Rivers story. I actually, now that I couldn't give him a moment, I'm going to go watch, and I'll probably be reminded of a moment. I remember watching LT and Antonio Gates. And
you mean the year they went 14-2 and lost in their first playoff game?
Right.
I remember that too. One of the best teams in history on paper. Couldn't win a game.
That happens.
Losing record in the playoffs. Never won a chip.
Tell me the Philip Rivers story.
Never won an MVP.
Right here.
Probably 0 All-Pros. All the things.
Philip Rivers is a Hall of Famer.
To him.
Probably to the voting board also. Is it a board? Is it just like a group of people? How's that go?
Philip's going to Canton. He's got a round-trip ticket to Canton in 5 years. I just don't think he belongs. I don't think he did. If you play 15 years, you're going to put up all the numbers. You just didn't do anything meaningful.
I don't know. Regardless, I don't even want to talk about Philip anymore because I think he's a Hall of Famer. You don't think he is? You tell us if he is. How about this? Today, Gronk, the Gronk monster, comes out. We were supposed to send in vids of our OTAs of us doing sprints. So I did them all in one day, and I just changed clothes. so I could just chill on the other couple of days of the week. And I shot him off. I was good.
Gronk
I
is
worked out
Gronk.
like 2 days a week.
There's players that come along in the history of sports that you just love. You just can't not like them. Gronk, Marshawn Lynch, Barkley, guys that are just super honest, straight to the point, no bullshit. You just love them.
And the personality, they're just like, I'm gonna do me.
I was researching one time and I was scrolling through something and I looked up Gronk in high school. Dude played basketball. He was a stud basketball player too. He wore the number 69. Also, in his high school yearbook, they asked the questions like blah, 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 what do you like, blah, blah, blah. Gronk said, I like two things in this world, playing sports and getting chicks. In his high school yearbook. He's a man's man.
Sounds like a good time. Wait for it. Proceed.
So we're going to wrap up around the world in sports with something we don't talk a lot about on our show, the old peach basket sport.
B-ball.
I'm going to ask you two things, and I want you to tell me big deal, little deal, no deal. First
Big
thing.
deal, little deal, no deal. I got 3 options. Let's do it.
First thing, LaMelo Ball. Mm-hmm. Youngest player ever in history of the NBA to average a triple-double. Also, through 20 games, LaMelo Ball leads the NBA in points, rebounds, assists, and steals for a rookie. Big deal, little deal, no deal.
I'm going to give this one the number 4. It's a huge deal. LaMelo Ball is for real.
I think he's a stud.
Absolutely
I
a stud.
I think Jordan finally hit a draft pick right, and
I actually can't wait until all the horse shit's over.
Okay.
So we can go to Charlotte and see what's up.
I'm in. Now, if you had to give him a comp from somebody you've seen in history through 20 games, my comp right now through 20 games is Jason Kidd. Who would you compare him to?
Ooh, I don't even. J. Kidd. J. Kidd, the triple-double guy?
Yes. Third most in history, I think.
He did board. He did board for a guard. I don't know. I don't watch. I'm not a basketball guy. I watch basketball.
Right.
So I don't like top of my brain's not basketball formulated.
Okay.
I'm a football, baseball guy.
Second thing in the world of peach basket, through first 40 games of career, Zion Williamson is shooting 58.5%. That is the highest in history through 40 games. Big deal, little deal, no deal.
Let's say that's a big deal. My biggest thing with Zion is his sustainability with that build. I love watching him play basketball.
Right.
I just don't know how he can. You saw the shoe blowout.
Yep.
You see how big this dude is. He is just a rock solid tank.
I think he's in that. He's not with him athletically, but I think like if there's a room where you put like best athletes in history and like Bo Jackson's like the leader of the room, like Zion's in the corner somewhere watching Bo give the speech.
Yeah, it's a different kind of dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely a big deal. The shooting percentage, eventually he's not going to be able to bang on the inside. Mm-hmm. Although, Charles Barkley did that for a long, long time.
That was who everybody compared him to coming out of college.
But he can shoot.
Zion?
Barkley was not a shooter.
Barkley could pull up from 3.
Yeah.
Zion's got to develop. Once Zion develops a mid-range game, like Greek Freak is still working on, I think it's his league.
But Zion can bang in the paint with dudes that are 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Just get out of my way.
Yeah. His just brute strength is just wild.
But eventually he will have to go. Everyone does. You'll have to go to more of a finesse game, and he will have to develop that to stay. And I'm sure he will.
Yeah. Cool.
That's what we got from the world of sports. All the big things we saw this week. Mm-hmm. A little bit of a different vibe. We'll be coming up with more things like this because football season's over. We brought you all the football we possibly could. That's what we live and breathe for. It's off season. All we got is Tom and Patty left.
We love to hear y'all's thoughts. Drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about any of the topics we talked about. Agree, disagree. You think somebody else was this, that, whatever. We love shooting it with you guys. Like always, let us get that like, share, follow, and we appreciate the hell out of it.
We will see y'all soon.
Or we will see y'all at another time.
See y'all.
I'ma drink till I throw up, and you know, my mind is stuck, I'm puffing, you know, I just don't give a fuck, here we go.